Go.
Alright, well, after a false start, Harley just said they were recording and was not recording. But
it's fine.
It is fine. You know, it's fine. It'll be okay. Back at White Castle. I think I've reviewed White Castle once so far with the mac and cheese and something else I just don't really remember. But it was like pretty good. The mac and cheese was mediocre, and the other thing I got was, the Sloppy Joe slider was pretty good. So we got another couple specials for Lent. We got shrimp nibblers and a crab cake slider. So going a little twist on the Lent seafood. Let's start with the crab cake. It's very nice out today. It's been 50 degrees. The weather's been, again, still scary. But maybe it's getting less so. Maybe it'll get more so. This is shockingly good. It's got that still kind of weird White Castle bitterness, if you know what I'm talking about. Most present in the chicken, which you should never get. And it's also present in some other chicken nuggets, so I assume it's something with the breading, but that first bite was like, it's crisp. The bun's not as soggy as normal. Jesse did, actually tell me their opinion, so I'm not completely unbiased, but I'm agreeing with it so far. It's actually... Oh man, that's actually a pretty good crab cake. I mean, it's not like a nice Maryland crab cake. I used to get those. Remember, I was a kid going up to I still do, I guess. Yeah, going up to my grandparents' house for Christmas up around Maryland, southern Pennsylvania, getting Chesapeake Bay crab cakes, which were really good. That's probably something that'll fall very firmly into childhood nostalgia, which I feel is sort of weird. Crab cakes aren't a standard nostalgia item, but I think it might end up being one. That, and Lunchables, of course. And those little cereal packs. I didn't really get sweet cereal at home, so that was always a big deal. Yeah. The breading's actually done borderline perfectly. Just in general, it's the exact right thickness. It doesn't take up that much of the crab cake, but it's still very crispy, extremely present. Looks like in it is mostly kind of chives and crab. You get that very firm kind of crab cakey taste, where it's you can tell it's crab, but it doesn't exactly taste completely like crab, and more just sort of this very kind of soft, kind of rich, I don't know. And the bun, I don't know. I like the soggier White Castle buns, but this probably is better for the crab cake. Having short hair is really weird still. I don't know. I don't like having to shave it constantly, because I don't really feel comfortable with, hair this length. I would prefer it, completely gone. I don't know why. I just kind of feels better, and yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Wow, good. Alright, so $1.30. This is a solid deal. White Castle special sliders have really held up. Impossible Slider, Sloppy Joe, and this underrated. Yeah, I don't know. Hair, weird. Hair's a pretty huge signifier too. I don't know. Kind of a hard thing to parse through. I would just prefer to go completely bald at this point. Or Beck said I should get a tonsure like the monks, but I'd have to. I think I should wait to decide if I want to join a monastic order first, because go big or go home. But parts of the monastic life seem kind of attractive. Just I don't know, not really having to worry about a career, because that's all you're doing for life. Reading a lot. I don't know if the Bible would be my preferred studying material, but it just seems like a different version of grad school that lasts longer, basically. Yeah, so now we've got shrimp nibblers. Shrimp, I haven't had fast food shrimp before. It's relatively common, especially around here, with chicken joints, too. Breading's fine. Breading tastes a lot like crab cake breading. I didn't ask for any sauce. Then they were like, do you want sauce? And I was like, what sauce you got? Get your tartar and cocktail. I was like, I'll have some tartar. And they gave me 2 tartars and a cocktail. Great service. Yeah. So, I guess we should probably try one on their own first. It's again got that weird, just like bitterness of White Castle. That's like the bitterness and the weird oniony taste are like I don't know, just like the indefinable aspect of White Castle. Sorry, I thought I heard something. Yeah, I don't know, because it's not like a bitter blank flavor. It's just bitter, like bitter without any other reference point. Yeah. Oh, I'm tired. Oh god, yeah. Also, Biden is apparently entering the Democratic primary, which is a bummer. This looks just like mayo. I'm very suspicious. Yeah, that came out today. Biden. I think there's some other news. Oh yeah, that student like being bribed into colleges, which is not surprising. Like everyone knew that. They should have just made donations. Like, come on. Then it would have been the exact same thing and legal, even though it shouldn't be. Yeah, the tartar sauce kind of tastes like mayo. But yeah, it's still burning all the way for me. I don't know. Like, I think, I think the left should continue to criticize his failings, but he's more responsive than most and seems more willing to compromise with further left. And, like, also, he's just on our side, and no other candidate is, really. I'm, like, on our side. I mean, just like, for whatever reason, he functions largely as part of the Grand March of the Left, even if he has, like, again, serious flaws. He's still, like, I don't know, I think worth supporting. And, like, even Warren just isn't. Warren just wants to roll back capitalism to an earlier stage, like, with the whole workers should have a little more work. So it's like Warren just wants to keep the peace basically by rolling capital back to an earlier stage with the focusing on breaking up big tech companies. It's something that happens once every, I don't know, while, once or twice every century, I guess, with breaking up the large monopolies and quote unquote rejuvenating capitalism, because that is one of the that kind of concentration of capital is one of the primary failings, because it stifles competition, etc., and how the market is supposed to function. But that keeps happening, and eventually what's all that needs to happen is for once there to not be enough political power to break up those monopolies, and then we're back at corporate feudalism. So it's that's just not a viable option, even if you're not communist, as long as you're not feudalist, in my opinion. And then yeah, it's a lot about just keeping a labor peace rather than actually expanding labor rights, which Bernie seems somewhat more prone to, with regard to, of course, Medicare for all, Green New Deal, but also expanding employees to count, or expanding the definition of employee to include private contractors. Really important, with regard to unionizing. And it's a lot of that stuff that I think is the important aspect. So shrimp nibblers, alright so far. Let's give the cocktail sauce a try. Oh yeah, but the concentration of I don't know, just Amazon is by far the most interesting with regard to just increasing vertical and horizontal. Cocktail sauce a bit better. Vertical and horizontal monopoly. And again, the Benjamin piece I was reading, there's a weird line I've been trying to parse through where he's talking about, Benjamin is on the surrealism one, is talking about how surrealists were finally pushed towards the communist answer, which is complete pessimism, distrust of all institutions, and reconciliation between classes. And he seems to support that position, but then takes this turn and was but absolute faith in I.G. Farben and the peaceful perfection of the Air Force, which it's very clear he wasn't supporting. Because like, I don't know, that he's not that kind of like accelerationist, and like I don't think he supported a German war machine or like conglomerate capital. But what's interesting is, though this was written in 1929, and those ended up being like the two, like IG Farben specifically, the like some of the most like important parts of the German war machine, the Nazi war machine. And now we're getting this like interesting repeat of that, where there's been this poll going around that showed like Amazon is like the most trusted institution in the country, by Democrats, and I think the third most by Republicans or something, and like so overall ends up being the single most trusted. So you've got that absolute trust, and the, what's it called, conglomeration there, similar to IG Farben, which was like a merger of 6 massive companies. And then you've got the fact that they're providing the backbone of ICE and similar like aspects of the surveillance state. So it is this weirdly like almost kind of like prophetic, like everything is coming back again. And I don't think we're headed towards Nazi America, but that is frightening. And, you know, we should break up Amazon, but not in the way Warren wants to do it. All right, sorry about that tangent. I'm tired. Yeah. What? So cocktail sauce pretty good. Shrimp mediocre. Tartar sauce pointless. It's mayo. But the crab cake side is pretty good. Sometimes I wonder if I should eat less fast food. It's part of the whole like constant improvement mentality I tend to go on in the spring, which doesn't end up being that healthy, because like at one point I always start to ask myself like, oh wait, why am I doing this? Like, what is the goal? And then I don't have one, and so I kind of stop or fall back. But maybe I'll break that cycle this time. Maybe I'll either like kind of settle down and be like, you know what, I don't need a goal, I don't need a purpose in life. I can just sit back, be a barista, maybe even go to grad school. Just take things as it comes and just, you know, be fit, be healthy for the sake of it. Or maybe I will find like a purpose of like, hey, I can actually pursue this greater ideal and finally like actually follow through with that. Anyway, get the crab cake slider. You can skip the shrimp nibblers, they're overpriced, like $4. See you later. Sorry if that was a long one and you actually sat through it. I know some people actually do, so alright. Thanks.